the audio drama that I score. We've got those strings, and I'm happy with the intro stabs, but I'm going to revisit this pulsing tension part. So let's just loop out 4 bars over there and work out what's wrong. Go. Cool, that's looping nicely, but I don't like the sound of those strings. So what we're going to do here is let's just full on bring that into focus. Let's just do one long. So that's a good start, but now we actually just want that at half the speed. So there we go, cool. Now let's bring that down maybe 2 octaves. That's a nice recording. I just don't like how long it is. I'm working with session strings 2 on the right over here, and they make it quite easy to create these kind of patterns, you know, like arpeggiated patterns. It's quite a bit of variety in the articulation. You can hear it's oof. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Let's just do that even faster. We got that spiccato. Okay, what we want is, I'm just kind of learning how this kind of setup works. That's a good start. Now what we want is to actually shorten those. I'm not sure exactly where the articulation is for release. That sort of. It's actually the articulation that we're after. Tremolo, how does that sound? That's good, half speed. Don't like the slur. Okay, how do you get rid of that slur? You've got these random parameters too. So the slur seems to be on both. Any random selection that you make seems to have a slur. So let's try and unslur that. I see, it's up at the top here. You've got a 2. Alright, those are the articulations. Right, I'm just kind of new to this there. You can set the articulations here. So that's the bass articulation, staccato. And then we can create these individual different articulations. So let's try that. 1 2 1 2. Let's try that. Sounds unnatural, but that kind of works. No, that doesn't work at all. Pizzicato. What's accent crescendo? Let's pizzicato them all. Let's see how that sounds. I like the pizzicato more than anything else. So how do we get that to? Is there a way to quickly make it go up without doing it all manually? It's quite irritating. Okay, anyway, point is. Down. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. We don't want the machine gun sound. This is where it can get interesting with polyrhythms too. You're able to loop out a phrase of 6 beats instead of 8 or 4, and you'll find. Dun, 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 dun. So let's do a 6/4 and hear how that sounds. Let's try that. Now we're currently we've got the root playing over this session string, and we've got the 5th, or what sounds like the 5th in the other strings, which is, we'll work on that now. So that means we're in the key of A minor. Nice and easy. If you know any music theory, that's the one without any black notes, which makes things a little bit easier usually. Okay. Action cues are based on loops. Action danger is based on this kind of loop, but to prevent it from getting boring, you have to frequently change up the rhythm. So it's a good start having a polyrhythm bass, like a 4/6. That's about all I know about that. And let's give this a bash. I think there's a key change at some point. Let's listen out. Let's add that. Ooh, it's a major third, so we're going from D to F sharp. The staccato is not, the pizzicato is not really working for me. Spiccato might. Let's try that. Better, yeah. Let me stay in that key of F sharp minor, but the problem is it's already sounding a bit too robotic for my liking. Half of the challenge is trying to make it sound less robotic. Let's hear how it sounds on its own. I'm going to just, the session strings. Dun 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 doesn't work, so let's just go with a straight dun 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 dun. That, except it's repeating too frequently. So let's turn this into what looks like a 7-beat with a little touch of a accent at the end. While I'm on this, what I'm going to do is take this patch and just bounce it out. So we've got this nice bass. Let's just actually hear what I'm looking for is a rock sounding hi-hat, which I can drum along with. I don't think they've got a hi-hat on this kit. This is more of a hip-hop sounding kit. So what I've got to do now is literally just bounce out this one little loop, and I will take that up to my stems over here, where I can loopify it, which is an Ableton style trick where you're just able to copy out the effect. So that's a very neat trick. Thanks John Tidy from Reaper Blog for that one. Now I am going to delete all that. I'm just going to assume that's a good enough sounding kick and bring up the battery kit which I'm using to change to a rock kit. So what I want is some kind of rock sounding kit for a hi-hat. Kits, yes. Percussion kit, drum synth, melodic, analog. I don't know what analog exactly means. Unfortunately, rock is not showing up with any ease. So let's try and find it the old-fashioned way. Find in library. Drum, rock, blues. I don't know. Nothing. Oh, I've got it filtered as urban kit. That's why. Still nothing. Percussion kit. I'm looking for something that could just be a typical blues sounding thing. Alright, that's not working. Bass, drums, no user files. That's pretty irritating. Acoustic drum kit, there we go. Cool. Session and Stadium I use all the time, so I don't want them to make my mixes all sound the same. Let's see how this sounds. It's muted. What I'm actually looking for is a drum loop. But unfortunately I don't know where to find that. We actually don't. There we're getting closer now. This has got open and closed. Oh, there's no choke. Damn. Not exactly what I'm after. try it again. Okay, we're getting there. Beatbox? No, this is the wrong one to choose. Looks like it might have to be Session or Stadium Kit, which I don't use and I don't like using on everything, just because I've used it so much in the past. Use those. But if you're just stealing a sample from it, then it's not recognizably the same as everything else. Besides, if it works, you know, I'm always in two minds. Like, I think the guiding light here is just do whatever's easiest. There we go, that's exactly what I'm after. Because I'm an old rock guy from the 90s. That's the one, with a little bit of openness. Okay, let's try this again. Record. Okay, we've also got something to fix there about the... I'm going to fix that. One thing at a time. Okay, first things first, quantize all of that. I'm not going to do 100% this time because I want it to sound a little bit organic. Okay, we've got a little glitch there. We want this guy, oops, to move over, please. Okay. I'm creating loops where I should actually just be using like preset loops, but this is how I roll. And also the it's a 7/8, that's right. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'm just gonna copy these guys over to their natural endpoint. Now we've got this repeating structure over here, which is why the session strings leaped the way they did. So take off loop. I like these little irregularities. Let's just see if they work in the context of the cue. Din, 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 din. I'm not sure about that sudden leap forward. I think it should be a little bit more subtle than that. So what we're going to do is find, let's just change this time signature for starters to 7/4 because that's what we're in actually. Oh no, I hope that doesn't mess things up too much. Let's actually start it here. That's where the 7/4 starts. So 7/4. And we've also got this starting off. This is starting in the wrong place. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there we're getting there. This is where it ends. Okay. Do a hard reset over here. It'll break, you know, just to keep things varied. Okay, so I know it doesn't sound great at the moment, but we're gonna get there. Maybe just one thing we can do, just to create some interest, is take the send envelope. The session strings isn't currently going to the delay that I have set up, but let's take it over to Valhalla and see how that sounds. Valhalla is a great delay, but I don't use it for rhythmic stuff. I use it for like psychedelic texture stuff. But let's see how it sounds anyway. So what I'm going to do now is pump up the volume, as you do, on this. Send volume to Valhalla delay. Let's hear it dry first. See, it throws the timing out a bit, but that's fine. 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dun, 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 go. Too much. I like the effect though. I've got an idea. Let's, instead of going let's just resample. Oops, I've cut out half the track. Let's resample just this part over here, and let's resample it with a nice long tail. So this part over here, thank you. Of course, when I resample like that, it resamples it with the effect, which is quite cool. I've got a wind part playing here too. That's not ideal. In fact, that's never going to work. Let's take that out. To have like a bassoon playing is like, no. And this part, all of this is not going to work either. Great. Okay, let's try this again. Now I'm going to do something wild and reverse it. How do we reverse this? Reverse as new take. I'm sure there's a reverse item as new take. I love reversing stuff. Reverse items and crop to active take. Control Alt number lock / There we go. Reversed. Let's try that. Actually, it's not dry. It's not wet, it's dry. I like that. Let's use that as an intro. Okay, I'm changing this back from 7/4 to 8/4/4. Okay, and there is our next cue point, which is going to be a shift up A major third. So now we have to redo the sampling of this. Let's give that a bash. Easy peasy. Just select that track and resample it, and then do the reverse trick. There we go. When you've got your keyboard stuff set up, it is nice and easy. Okay. Now we should undo. Where's the halfway mark here? Oops. Had a jam session earlier with my band. Not a jam session, but a rehearsal for Saturday. We're playing at a school. Kind of a fundraiser thing, I think. And so that's cool. It's like therapy, you know, going to a rehearsal and Traffic was a pain in the ass, but anyway. Cool, so we've got one over there and then a key change over there for which we need these drums to continue. This is in the wrong place, it needs to be there. I'm just kind of like going with the vibe here. Oops. I've shifted everything out. There we go. I've got a function which allows me to click and drag one item in a track, which will then drag all subsequent items, which means that if I've got anything after this in the entire project, it's going to be out of sync. Not ideal. Keep an eye on that. Very useful for dialogue editing though, if you want to pull the entire project or push someone's vocals around. Okay, so we've got this weird session strings vibe happening. That's this guy over here. And we're going to leave some gaps for this techno drum rock combined beat. Maybe we should ramp up the ante, push up the ante here. This actually, I've made a mistake here. This needs to be an 8 instead of a 7. So let's just do that and that. Group those two, consolidate them, and then duplicate them, which groups them and allows you to pull and stretch it out, which is an awesome custom macro to have in Reaper. Highly recommend it. It's going to make this whole thing sound quite samey, so that's why over here we're going to, sorry, not there, at the point. And we're going to do some sort of change. Let's take it up to the next sample, the open. So that's quite useful as a little sound design thing, but then what we must do is also, let's pull that sample that we've just got from battery. In fact, I'm just getting into resampling these days. Like, let's take this guy here, pull it over into its own file. I've made a mistake. There we go. Create a sample out of it. Yes, now that is playing on its own. Let's move that up to here. And let's just see the waveform. There it is. Now what we can do is also send it to let's do the delay 3, so I get okay, and we need to see, where is it? I've got to actually manually do it. It doesn't do it automatically. Oops, where's it gone? I've got it there, that's what I'm after, but why is it not showing? So half of the stream is just watching me problem solve shit. What we're looking for is the trim factor for, oh here we go, it was just the envelopes, correct. Send volume of delay 3, there we go. So it's actually up already, good. Let's take it down, and just for the duration of this queue, this is how I work when I've got multi-projects like this. Create a region, call it danger. I'm in the sort of 101 space right now. Set color to pink. Okay, and now we can double click that to select the entire queue. Make sure that automation is down, and then just raise it up for the duration of the queue. So let's see how that sounds on its own. A little bit of delay coming through. Not ideal because it's actually phasing. There's a problem with it. We need a delay 3 that is an actual delay 3 and not a delay 4. Should I try and just... No, okay. What I might have to do here is just create a delay on its own track. So let's take that over to there. Take down the automation. Cool, and then listen to it. Oops, here we go. Reaper's GUIs for their onboard effects are always terribly ugly, but they are just as good as they need to be. That's it, that's what I'm going after. feedback. Cool, now what we need is actually, we need some control of the panning there. Let us create an automation item in here. I've got a shortcut for that. Try half to be something like that, yeah. No, it's not the desired effect. And also I've got a little bit of a doof there, which I don't want. Okay, anyway, that's fine. And then we want to just group that and then duplicate it. I wish I could stereoify this better. I might need like an imager plugin. Let's try that. Okay. Let's see if we can just left-right this baby. Mono, no, invert left. It's already pretty wide. No. Or some kind of attack or transient transient controller. Last thing, I just want to roll off these highs a little bit, because with this type of film music you generally don't want any high frequencies. But this phasing is not going to work for me. Okay, we've got a lot of stuff to figure out here. Okay, well anyway, that's about it for now. That's all I'm going to come up with to start. Made some experimental moves. That'll be it for now, kids. Cool. I'll catch you at the next exciting video. Peace out.